Welcome to the Introverted Servant Leader podcast, a show dedicated to empowering purpose-driven women in corporate leadership to amplify their impact and influence. I'm your host, Sharissa Sebastian Deppen, a leadership and executive coach with over a decade of experience who guides introspective leaders in harmonizing personal aspirations with professional success. In each episode, we'll have thoughtful conversations about leadership, making decisions, embracing growth, and maintaining work-life balance while leading with quiet strength. We're so glad you could join us. Let's redefine leadership together. Today, we're going to be talking about faith and work. And you may be curious about why these two things, right? Why faith and work? Because honestly, I don't think a whole lot of people talk about this as far as what this means, why it's important to even talk about, what do we need to know about it, and now what, right? So once you have that information, what do you do with that? How do you integrate these different parts of your life maybe? So the first thing I want to talk about is, what do I mean by faith? And this, I don't necessarily mean it in just a belief way. So in terms of your religion or spirituality or anything like that. What I mean by this is your deep core belief system. What do you put your hope and your trust in? So your beliefs are going to influence your thoughts, which then influence your emotions, which then impacts your decisions, and that is going to impact your actions and ultimately where you end up or your destiny. So again, I'll say that one more time. Your beliefs are going to influence your thoughts, which are going to impact your emotions, which then influence your decisions, which influence your actions, and ultimately where you end up or your destiny. So that is why this is so important, to really identify and get clear and create some awareness around your belief system. What is it that you're believing? What is it that you put your faith in, your trust in? All of those kinds of things, because confidence is another part of this equation as well, right? Depending on your belief system and all of that, it's going to determine how you feel about yourself, how you feel about what's going on in the world around you, and a whole lot of different aspects of your life. So let me give you an example of this, right? So understanding our beliefs and where we put our faith is critical to our quality of life and our results. For example, if you believe that you're a klutz or an incompetent leader because you're not as good as someone else, then this will firstly drain you and keep you in the comparison trap, but it will also impact your confidence and your belief in the ability that God gave you to do what you're being called to do. So just be really careful about comparing yourself to others and believing in things that are not true, right? Always question, what am I believing for me to show up in this way? If you're under a lot of stress or you're experiencing self-doubt and all of those different things, ask yourself, what is at the root of that? What is it that I'm believing? Or what am I trying to control maybe, or hold on too tightly to, that maybe is not within your control, right? So it is also so important, a little bit of a bonus tip here, is to examine what is within your control and what is outside of your control. Because a lot of the things that cause us the most amount of stress are going to be outside of our control. We cannot control that. We can only control how we respond or react to the things that are outside of our control. So just remember that. That is what you need to know about your beliefs and how much of an impact it has on your outcomes, your decisions, your ability to be that strong introverted servant leader. So the other thing I wanted to share with you today is, what do you do with this information, right? How do you really unpack this in a way that's going to be the most helpful to you and those around you? So again, my invitation for you is to carefully examine your beliefs. Are they empowering or are they disempowering? So we went through some examples of disempowering beliefs, right? Things that you believe about yourself or your circumstances that are not going to help you to move forward and navigate, but really are going to keep you stuck, are going to really invoke those emotions of stress and frustration and keep you in those cycles. So let's flip this a little bit and talk about empowering beliefs. So here are some examples of empowering beliefs. I am supported in everything I do. I am fully capable of being the leader I was created to be. I will make the best possible decisions today and let go of the outcome, but trust the process instead. I choose to see the good in all situations. And I know that God is helping me every step of the way. This doesn't mean that things are going to be perfect. It doesn't mean that you look at everything with rose-colored glasses and ignore, what reality is. But it does mean that you choose to believe in things that are going to help you and have faith in the things that you can trust. So that could be in God, it could be in whatever it is. But remember that is going to impact how you feel. That's going to impact especially how you react to situations that don't go your way, right? It's going to be really important to examine those beliefs, think about what is it that I'm believing about myself and about the situation. And is it empowering or is it disempowering? And so I want to leave you with that. But one other thing I'm going to share with you from my own personal experience is I can tell you that I have found so much freedom in this intersection of faith and my work when I realized that there's only so much that I can control. I can do the very best that I can do. But at the end of the day, if I'm not trusting in God to make sure that all the other things are taken care of around me, and trust that even when I don't see that things are going well, they're always working out ultimately for some kind of good. And I can choose to see the good in a situation, to lean into gratitude, and to learn the lessons that I need to learn in order to grow and to develop my skills, whether that's as a leader or, whatever role that I'm playing in that particular time. So just remember that, right? Remember to think about what are some of the beliefs that you want to adopt, maybe that you haven't in the past. And also think about what are some of the disempowering beliefs that you've believed that you want to now, unhook, I guess, or, disconnect from your thought process so that you can choose those empowering beliefs and move forward in a more intentional and a more, aware way. And remember that I am rooting for you and you've got this. If you loved this episode and want more, I invite you to join my free training on how to lead in times of uncertainty and rapid change. You can find it at leadershipmasteryalliance.com/training. The link will be in the show notes below. You will learn how to lead yourself and your team highly effectively and be a standout leader when things get tough. That's all for this episode of the Introverted Servant Leader podcast. I hope you found value in our discussion around leadership for introverted servant-hearted women thriving in the corporate space. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be so grateful if you left a review, subscribed to the show, and shared it with fellow purpose-driven leaders. Your reviews and shares help amplify the influence of introverted leaders worldwide. I look forward to connecting further on the next episode as we continue to redefine wise, compassionate leadership together. Until then, lead with grace, embrace your strength, and remember, your quiet leadership is a force that shapes the world. Take care and stay inspired.